Hi guys, Nina Zapala. Welcome in to our soulful Sunday conversation where we're going to speak about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. And this week, while I'm talking on the blog about the 7 secrets to traveling and with a different personality type and finding your ideal match for happier vacations, I also want to kind of get into a little bit more on this. So let's start with the blog and then we'll get into some more and then I'll just do a wrap up. Okay? So the blog is all about looking at your ideal travel mate. There's no ideal, there's no that, but you can have a person that's more compatible than another person, right? Because you don't want to travel with somebody that you're just totally stressed out about. You're getting frustrated. It's not fun. You're just pleasing to make them happy, and then you come home depleted. That's not the idea of vacation. I believe the idea for vacation is to be transformative. To be honest with you, I believe you should be able to have transformative moments where you come home and you get that transformation sticks. So it's a part of personal growth, and it should be a relaxing time, a rejuvenating time. So when you do get back to your daily routine, you're more creative. So I did this, wrote this post, and it's actually an updated post, but I did it with the intention of helping you looking at your potential travel mates, or even your partner, your family, even your kids, your in-laws, whomever you're traveling with, and look at their personality type. And I want you to look at it in a little different way, instead of this overall arching wholeness of a personality type, which I don't believe any of us really are truly any one type 100,000%, because we have so much personal experiences, life experiences, our childhood, country culture, right? Societal expectations, your work peers, everything influences you. So even though you are one type, I believe it's sometimes more important just to look at your traits. And I actually did that on the blog this week, where I put, I am a curious type, ENTP, and I was traveling with a practical type, the ISFJ. And so what I did is I put a chart together and I was looking at our traits individually and see how compatible they were. And actually I'm pretty compatible with the practical traveler from the aspect of they kind of keep me grounded. They kind of keep me a little bit more scheduled, because I am not scheduled. I am not conventional. I like free form style of traveling, so I don't like to be overscheduled. Where the practical traveler likes to schedule, she likes to plan, or he or she likes to plan. They like the rules, they like the tradition of it, but they can also be very playful, which I'm like a kid at heart. I love to be playful. I'm very childlike, very naive. I like to just go off and explore, and I don't really look at, could this be dangerous? Where my practical traveler friend is like, let's just be careful because of this. And I'm like, oh, I didn't really think of that. And she did, but I wouldn't have. So see, there's room for a give and take in this kind of relationship. So that's what I want you to look at. She's definitely an introvert. I'm more of an extrovert. Again, but it was funny because I wanted a lot of quiet talking time at the beach, and quiet time, and she was ready to talk, and I was like, do you want my magazine? She was great. We're compatible. But so it's funny, and see, that's why I don't like looking at taking that personality type from that whole aspect. I do in some ways, but in this way I do like to kind of take apart the personality types, because even though she's more introverted at the beach, my introvert tendencies come to play, because I want the peace and quiet. I need the downtime, because I am a super hyperactive, intense person. The beach is the time for me that naturally calms me into quietude, into stillness. And that's so important for me. Like, she gets that kind of all the time. because that's her personality type. She's more introverted than I am. I don't. So the beach is the one time that I can steal away and get that. So that's why I think it's interesting to start looking at your traits and how they surface while you're traveling, because you definitely don't want to be with a person who is the polar opposite of all your traits in all respects on a vacation. Okay, so I did put in some 7 secrets for you to help you help you start looking at things. And I also put the little chart in there that I use that I hope you can use. It's easy to replicate. It's almost like, have you heard of the Ben Franklin close? The positive is in the negatives, and you just do a chart down the middle. This is this, this is this. And it's easy to do. A lot of people just don't take the time to do it. But when we're traveling, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, I do feel it's very important that you do that, because why wouldn't you? You would never make an investment going, I'm going to put my money in that stock when I know it's going to be devalued in 3 days, but I'm going to put my money there. You wouldn't do that. It's good for you to invest in your personality type. And it's good for you to invest in somebody else's personality type from a perspective of knowing it, to see how compatible you'd be on vacation when traveling together. So that's really the essence of the blog. But what I want to go into deeper is, maybe this will help you in some aspect of your life. I know there's 1 or 2 people out there that have experienced what I've experienced, so I know this can be helpful. So this is for you. So when I took my first vacation with my child, with my ex-husband, it was a disaster. It was a total disaster. I mean, it was like, I'm packing my bags up. I want a divorce. This is not working, blah, blah, blah. And at that time, I think I've said this in previous videos, I didn't really know myself. I didn't take the time to get to know myself. And I certainly wasn't involving the non-physical aspects of myself. The aspects where you trust your gut, where you listen to your intentions, where you're listening to what's being downloaded to you from divine intelligence, to Christ consciousness, to the great I, Allah, whatever it is. Because I was so busy pleasing and not being myself that it just was like running wild. So how would a vacation work, right? But on top of that, what was layered into that was I was traveling with a personality type that was very controlling. Some types are a little bit more controlling than others. And it's not a bad thing. It's just who they are. It's how they find security in the world. I'm not judging this at all. Because I accept myself wholly as who I am. I don't want to copycat anybody. I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be me. So once you accept that, it's so easy to accept personality typing. So what I'm saying, getting back to this controlling thing, is it's not a bad thing. But they're very regimented. They're very controlling. It was my way or the highway type of thing. And for me, that was a total stressor. It was frustrating. It was stifling. And not only is my personality none of those things, but the core essence of me, of the ENTP, is about freedom and unconventionality and possibilities and opportunities. And all of those things I just said about the other person I was traveling with, none of that's present in that instance. None of that is present. So that was a very, very hard vacation for me. I did manage to do some fun things. Like what happened is we got into lockdown because there was a hurricane coming. And the bellman was coming around. It's like, hey, we're taking the van and we're going to go shopping. Do you guys who wants to come? I'm like, I'll come. Me and my person, like, I'm going to come. I want to get out of this. It was a tense situation. So I rode on the bus. I had a blast. I had a blast doing that. We're all like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What are you guys going to buy? How about if we do this? We'll swap. And it was good. It was like this really fun, interactive. There was possibilities. I was germinating ideas. It was so me. And that was a fun part of the vacation for me, even though it was in a weird situation. We were in lockdown because of hurricane and we couldn't leave the island. It was fun because I was allowed to be myself. I was allowed to be me. And whenever you can truly be yourself, it's gonna be more fun. And not only in travel, in your career, in your relationships, in love, and whatever you do, in the way you dress. There are angels. I know that for sure, right? It's all about that. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people find themselves. Not wanting to emulate somebody else or copy somebody else or be somebody else or listen to what somebody else has told them they should be. No, that's not the way you should be in life. But I do feel that many of us need help to oversee the victimhood of our personality types. Because I believe our personality types have been a victim of ego and fear conditioning. Since we've been little, we've been told what to do, who to be, how to be, what career we should do, what colleges we should go to. Look for this person to get married to. Marry somebody that has money, or marry somebody like this, or marry this, or whatever. It's been so conditioned, and it's what I call the slow drip conditioning, because it's been going on for years and years and decades. And we just don't see it. We just don't see it. And I'm often, when I'm speaking to my clients, they say I'm this personality. And as I get talking to them, they don't even have identified the right personality type. And that's such a bad disservice to yourself. Because when your personality type is in full flow and balance and healthy, and what I mean by that is it's you've looked at your fears, you've looked at where the ego comes into play, you know your traits, and you know the traits that brings on this certain fear to you, so you've identified it through your personality type, so it's easier to remedy. Then you can come into that non-physical aspect of yourself. That becomes more apparent because you're not so focused on just trudging through life, like just the hardness of life. So you open up to the other side of who you are. The beingness of yourself, the spirit, the non-physical, which is always ready to help you take the best path for you. It doesn't rely on your parents or society or what's trending or what you believe to be true. It knows what's true for you, always leading you down the best path for you, bringing you always to your best self, bringing you to your true self, the truth of who you are, being yourself. So what I'm saying here in this travel situation, if you ever feel like you're getting in that situation where it's total overwhelm, that's time to back up and reevaluate the entire situation you're in, okay? And that could just be like telling the other person, which I did, I need some time alone. I need to spend some time alone. I need to regroup and spend some time. And I did have a very young son with me, which was great. He's my love. So he was an easy person to travel with. He was so little. He just wanted to see the lizards and play on the beach. So it was good. I just had to do that, because the more you fight and get into it and do all that kind of stuff, like you're doing this and pointing fingers. Well, what they say, there's one finger pointing and there's 4 pointing back at you, right? So it was time for me to start looking at things. It was time. And I wasn't quite ready to do all of that on vacation. But the thing was, it was an eye-opener. And it started me down a journey because I had an awareness. I had a consciousness of my behavior and my partner's behavior. And it wasn't working. So it started the journey. It started me stepping onto a new path. So I just wanted you to look at that too, just going on the blog, because I really kind of want to inject my personal experiences, because the only way you learn is through experience. It's the only way you can learn. So I really wanted you to understand that. So that was kind of like the backstory of the blog, right? That was my backstory. It's like, oh, I really want everybody to learn this and to start really learn their personality traits, And it's one thing to compromise, but when you're pleasing and just feeling really not good about yourself in a way that's harmful for you, it's time to reevaluate, because that's not healthy, And there's no way you're going to relax and rejuvenate and transform some way. My slow transformation did start, but it started from kind of a negative way. And I don't want you to have to do that. And if you have to, you have to. It's just how it's going to go down. So I hope you like this. I hope you'll join me for more soulful Sunday conversations. I really do want to give you always the backstory of my blog, because it's always deeper than what I can just write on a blog. And that's where I want to be on YouTube, teaching what I know through my experiences. Because I'm telling you right now, the only way you're going to learn is through your experiences. That's a good thing, right? Learn through your experience. So go check out the blog. I have the links below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're so inclined. If you're inclined to subscribe, hit the bell so you know when you'll get those notifications. If again you're so inclined. But I do hope you'll join me again for these soulful conversations on Sunday. I wish you the best, most joy-filled vacations that you have. I hope you look at me, I'm all red because I just went to the beach. I got sunburned. Oh my God, I hadn't been to the beach for a while. And I'm like, I've got sunscreen on. I'm playing in the water because I'm a kid, right? I'm like falling, playing, trying to ride the waves in. Oh my God, I got so sunburned. My knees hurt. How sunburned I got. I'm like having a hard time walking the dog. I'm like, oh my God, Oliver, stop. My knees hurt. I can't go that fast. But I do want you, it was a beautiful, 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 beautiful day at the beach. It's just perfect. So, and my practical travel friend made it all the more enjoyable. So I hope you find those days, or maybe weekends or long weeks that you take and go on vacation. I hope you find them filled with joy, filled with fun, play, laughter, and every moment helps you find yourself a little bit more, because you're letting go of those fears, letting go of that ego conditioning. Thank you all that have viewed this or going to view it. I appreciate you. Happy vacations, and I'll see you next Sunday. For now, have a great rest of the week. And 4th of July is coming up, so woohoo! It's vacation time. We'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Love you all.